So look, there is one particular channel, it's called the Vanguard. Two young guys host it.
We've been patiently waiting for a track to explode on. You can stun if you want and your ass will get rolled on. If it feels like our flow's been hot for so long, if you thought that we were gonna fall off, you're so wrong. Gavin, we've been patiently waiting to announce it's officially the end of TYT. It's our world, everyone. Cenk and Anna are just living in it. How you doing this sunny afternoon?
What's up, everyone? It's the holiday time. Everyone is chilling, supposed to be spending time with the family, but here we are in the gutter, in the trenches with all of you. And we got a lot of good to talk about today. We have a full-fledged meltdown. Probably the most pathetic, cringy attempt I've seen from Cenk and Anna so far, to try to save face with their audience, with their once loyal viewers. It ain't working out. It ain't working out. It's only getting worse. But yeah, let's take a look, Zach.
Absolutely.
On the bonus episode, but we're making it public for everyone today. A lot of folks, Cenk and Anna, obviously, a lot of folks have had questions about the direction of Young Turks, and I realized that some people in our audience had good, legitimate questions as well. So we wanted to answer them, clear the air. So there's a lot to get to, so I want to get to it as quickly as we can. I was going to start with a critical question, but Gavin Mathis was so generous and wonderful on Super Chat. I'm going to start with her comment, and then I'll get to others, but it's also relevant here. Gabby wrote in, I'm so sick of so-called left-wingers that have badmouthed me for it. I was attacked today for being TYT. I hate the hate. We should have open discussions and love each other. Love Anna, Cenk, and I am TYT. Since retired, I watched TYT daily and was a progressive since I was 13.
Wow.
Gabby,
They're having this poor old woman who is just like on the internet. Maybe she exists, maybe she doesn't. Oh, I've been watching TYT every day since I'm retired and I just hate. Oh, how pathetic.
I've said this so many times to you. I love you so much. Thank you for having an open heart and open mind. And she's been so great on so many issues, including Gaza, etc. And so anyways, Gabby, you're wonderful for saying that. And that's part of why I want to do this too, because now some of these people that are, I don't know, I never know what to call them. We'll talk about it in a minute, but are attacking some of our viewers. And
no, I think we should name names. Former employees who want to be superstars by attacking us are literally telling our viewers to harm themselves, unalive themselves, as streamers like to say. And I don't know how anyone would look at that and think, oh, this is a person of good moral character and I should take anything that they're saying seriously.
Oh my God, imagine leading with that. Anna Kasparian, guys, is 100% incapable of grappling with criticism in good faith. I think we have to say it. I think it has to be said. She's incapable of doing it. That's what you lead with. Are you kidding me? One dude, this guy named Dan, who used to work at the Young Turks, apparently jokingly tweeted something about how, TYT viewers should unalive themselves or something. I don't think anyone even saw the tweet. Maybe only if they did, it was because Anna Kasparian blew it up and retweeted it, right? But that's not what anyone is saying, bro. That's what you're going to lead with. You're going to try to act like all the criticism boils down to TYT viewers should unalive themselves. That's so stupid.
Yeah, and nobody would say that, dude, because we want all of the rest of your viewers to come over to the new real home of progressives. We know they found you because they have an instinct of solidarity. We know they found you because they want to get a progressive understanding of the world around them, and they want to hear an independent, honest look at the news with a left-wing perspective, okay? Those people are going to join us. We don't think they're dumb. We don't think they're foolish. We think you guys are con artists and used car salesmen and bullshitters. And you have perniciously convinced a lot of people that your position is the progressive one when it is not.
Seriously, telling people to take their own lives because you don't like the show that they're watching is insane, but okay.
Yeah, it's gotten vicious against our viewers, and that's unacceptable. And it can.
What viewers?
Are people allowed to disagree, or did people elect these, in my mind, radicals? And we'll talk about why calling them radicals. mayor of Progressive Land, mayor, king of the left? When did that happen? When did we vote? When did they get anointed? They
King
sound
of the
like
left. The Vanguard, newly elected king of the left.
King of the left.
Kamala Harris and the establishment people. We have been anointed as the leaders of the left. Have you? I haven't seen that at all. I haven't seen that at all. And then you're going to viciously attack people who have a slight disagreement with you. Now it's past us, but you're attacking people that are viewers.
So let me just say a few other things. So look, there is one particular channel. It's called the Vanguard. Two young guys.
Two young handsome guys, am I
Two
right?
Young Turks.
Two Young Turks.
It's called what?
So let me just say a few other things. So look, there is one particular channel. It's called the Vanguard. Two young guys host it, and they've had a hate boner for me forever. It started when the fight, disagreement, whatever with Jimmy Dore started. They were on Jimmy Dore's side, and I blocked them because they were just causing problems.
That's actually a blatant lie. I'll tell you when Anna blocked me. Anna blocked me on Twitter because I responded to Ron Placone. And Ron Placone, she was being shitty to Ron. And Ron had already left the Jimmy Dore show because he'd gone completely crazy by that point. And I said, don't worry, Ron. She's just grumpy because her boss endorsed a billionaire real estate mogul and she liked it. And she blocked us on Twitter after that. So anyway, that's not exactly the truth, Anna, but get used to it, guys. They're going to spread a lot of misinformation about us. That's so hilarious and pathetically wrong. Just wait.
And I didn't want to see what they were posting on
they're now pretending to be against Jimmy.
No, I know. And then they had a falling out with Jimmy, but they maintained their hate boner for me. And so if you look at their channel, it's just wall to wall, out of context clips of us. And unfortunately, well-meaning people who don't know better are gonna see those out of context clips and their spin and the way they frame things.
All of you dumbasses who are tuning in, she's talking about you. She's like, God, how are you guys so dumb? You're just falling for these guys' lazy grift when they talk about us and how, we don't stand for anything and how we're awash with corporate capital, but our greed just, is endless.
Yeah, also, again, these sweeping generalizations, Cenk saying, oh, they pretend to be against Jimmy Dore. We've documented probably on our show more than anything else the reasons why we stopped fucking with that loser, that absolute piece of human garbage. We documented his grift in excruciating details and laughed at him all along the way, from before the COVID madness all the way up until recently, when he's really just completely fallen out of relevance entirely. It's been one of our big beats. It's one of the first, grifts we kind of set out to bust, partially because it did affect us personally. Jimmy was such an asshole to us. He was such a deranged, unhinged narcissist to us behind the scenes that, kind of frankly, it was a taste of what was to come. And maybe it did prime us a little bit for the work that we're doing now. But again, for Cenk to say, oh, they pretend to be against Jimmy Dore. Now, no, we have literally 200 videos probably on our channel that you can watch, again, where we outline in excruciating details the evolution of that relationship. Completely ridiculous, over and over again, just unable to actually address any of the realities of the situation.
Also hilarious to try and do a gotcha about Jimmy Dore. Cenk, you hired him. You gave him a show. You called him the aggressive progressive. The platform and success he enjoyed, you were the catalyst for that, Cenk. You were the springboard, okay? And then you turned on him. So how is that a gotcha for us? Yeah, at one point I was like, Jimmy's a progressive. Jake also was like, yeah, at one point Jimmy was progressive. And then we said, oh, shit. Clearly he's cosplaying. Clearly he doesn't care about harm reduction. Clearly he only cares about himself. Clearly he only cares about criticizing other progressives. And we documented his downfall like crazy, way more than Cenk did, who stopped caring about Jimmy's impact on the progressive community as soon as it wasn't good for clicks on his channel anymore. Because we actually practice what we preach. We do left independent media critique until they are so fully associated with the right wing, until it's completely clear, until their entire audience is saying, I'm so glad that Jimmy found MAGA. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, thank God. I always liked Jimmy. I wished he would finally see the light. Thank gosh he's fine. MAGA. I know he won't say it, but he really is MAGA. That's Jimmy's chat and audience now, okay? So we don't have to cover him anymore. Once that happens to TYT, we'll have other fish to fry. We'll move on.
And think that we're like these I don't know what they think. Like, I don't even watch their videos. I just see sometimes the thumbnails like that people send me and they like laugh at
Then how do you know what we're saying?
it. Like people who actually know me and know the show really well are just like, what is this?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like it's our names. So if it
She claims we misrepresent their audience or arguments and that we only play segments out of context, and then goes on to say she's never watched any of our videos. So if you've never watched any of our videos, how do you know that we play you out of context?
if our name is in the video and the topic of discussion, it's gonna perform well. They're making money off of it. And I don't know what to do about that, right? And so others have caught on and they're doing.
What's so funny is that that's in the entire business model of TYT for about 18 years, is talking about things that's happened on the internet, making money off of things that have happened on the internet. And she's gonna try and play victim here.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's completely ridiculous. She says, I don't know what to do about it. They're using our name. Yeah, that's the whole point of YouTube, bro. For years and years, you made videos criticizing Dave Rubin for exactly the same thing that you're now attempting to execute. We're doing the exact same shit. We learned from the best, quite frankly. Where do you think we learned a lot of this shit from? Again, it was from people like Cenk and Anna and Michael Brooks, who again filleted Dave Rubin so expertly, and Jimmy Dore. He was on to Jimmy before we even were, something that we've given the late Michael Brooks a lot of credit for. But Anna was right there next to him. That's the point. We're not the only people that talk about other channels or other commentators, and we're honest about the fact that we're media critics. That's what we put in our bio. That's what we identify as primarily, not journalists, not investigative reporters. No, we're media critics. That is the focus of our channel. Yeah, we talk about other stories, we talk about politics, but we don't claim to do this like cable news wannabe bullshit show where we sit here like Walter Cronkite or Rachel Maddow or whatever, and I'm doing a news show. No, we don't even put on that front at all. We're honest about what we are. People that watch our show understand that. They're not stupid, right? And again, to act like it's unique to the Young Turks, no, you guys actually aren't that special. We did a million videos talking about Kyle Kalinski's beef with Joe Rogan. There was like a whole month where pretty much all we talked about was Vosh, because he was going through that big controversy with his folder full of, unspeakable horrors, right? That's the point, bro. It's content, it's drama, it's YouTube, and you guys keep serving up the shit. You guys keep serving up the slop for us to react to. You're not exactly making it easy for us to tune this out when it's just constant embarrassments falling on your face over and over and over again, right? So that's completely ridiculous as well. You guys actually aren't special. You're just the most interesting thing to talk about at the moment.
Doing the same thing. And unfortunately, that narrative like starts to snowball, and I don't know what to do. Do I defend myself on this show? Do I call them out?
The narrative starts to snowball. 1 second.
And think that we're like these, like, I don't know what they think. Like, I don't even watch their videos. I just see sometimes the thumbnails like that people send me and they like laugh at it. Like people who actually know me and know the show really well are just like, what is this?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like it's our names. So if our name is in the video and the topic of discussion, it's gonna perform well. They're making money off of it. And I don't know what to do about that, right? And so others have caught on and they're doing the same thing. And unfortunately,
also,
that narrative.
I like how, again, she's so condescending to the audience, as if the people who are watching the videos are just all sheep and they're not watching these videos for a reason. No, the reason why people are making these videos, for one, but also the reason why people are watching them is because we're articulating something that people agree with, that they resonate with, that they understand and feel themselves. We're giving a voice, in addition to other channels and other content creators, we're giving a voice to this frustration that people feel. If there was no there, then people wouldn't be watching. You think if TYT was not doing anything wrong, if people didn't sense in their heart and in their soul that there was something off here, that our videos would be performing well? No, they'd be telling us to F off. You know what I'm saying? If we started, like, if we just started randomly to do a witch hunt against Kyle Kalinski because like our views are down 1 month, and we were like, who's a piece of shit? Kyle Kalinski. I never liked that bastard. Let's take him down. People would tell us to F off. They'd be like, dude, Kyle's a good guy. He's not a grifter. You're clearly just trying to smear him for money and attention. That's fucked up. That's what the unanimous response would be. But again, people agree with us. People know we're not just making this up for money. People know we're not just saying this for clicks. We wouldn't do that. We have a vested interest in progressive media. That's actually why we're so animated about this, why we're so pissed, because I watched the Young Turks go from a freaking model, a vessel of something that was really genuinely exciting in the space and representative of a real interesting brand for progressivism. It turned into what it is now, right? That's a big part of the reason why we're so pissed off.
Narrative like starts to snowball, and I don't know what to do. Do I defend myself on this show? Do I call them out? I don't want to waste your time with that, which is why I've largely ignored it. But then when you largely ignore it, it ends up snowballing into this big narrative that is unfair.
She'd rather waste your time with a debunked story about how gang members in Aurora, Colorado have taken over an entire apartment building.
So what winds up happening is, if they, any of these channels, if they do a video on policy or the news like we do, it doesn't perform that well. But when they do a video attacking TYT, it does much better. And so
let's talk about why that is, Cenk. Let's talk about how YouTube and the people that you've cuddled up to over the years have designed it to be that way, right? Cenk doesn't want to lose his competitive advantage that has occurred since Adpocalypse, right? What happens is the only channels that get prioritized when you're doing direct news content are going to be channels of authority, right? Or channels who have amassed a large enough subscriber base that they can blast out their news content and not rely so much on the artificial algorithm, right? So they don't have to play the game as much because they have a million people who have already decided to get their news from them. And what happens, guys? It means the entire ladder gets brought up with you. I want to give you guys a great example of a channel. Anybody that's looking for a really, really talented, well-researched, thoughtful broadcaster, somebody who is going to give you straight news and no drama, go over and check out the Good Politic Guy channel, right? Go ahead and look at how easy it is to grow your YouTube channel when you're doing straight, dry news. That guy has 52,000 subs and he's earned every single one of them, grinding it the fuck out. And sometimes he'll still walk away with a really, really good video that I'll watch and it'll get like 1,000 views after 24 hours, 48 hours. And I'll be like crushed for the guy because I'm like, God damn it. Like he does good stuff and he's gotten promoted by Kyle Kulinski.
I mean, the same thing happens to us. As Cenk references, we'll put out a video that's really substantive and dry, and not as many people check it out, but we post it anyway, right?
100%. But what I'm saying is Cenk wants to maintain that advantage. He doesn't want to see channels like Mac be able to compete with him one-on-one. He doesn't want the floor to be equal like it was when Cenk got his start on YouTube, like it was when even guys like Kyle got their start on YouTube. It was a much different world. And now that you're dealing with high production value, that you're dealing with every single regular cable news outlet putting out a ton of dry news content on YouTube, as well as every independent news outlet putting out news clips on YouTube, it becomes a wash and there's no way to break out as a young person. So you're 100% right, Cenk. We were like, you know what's a savvy way to make sure that we break out? Let's make sure that we're always reviewing other people's clips. But guess what, Cenk? We'd be happy to review the Young Turks positively. We'd be happy to give you flowers.
Obviously.
We'd be happy to be your biggest fans. That's what we do. In fact, Cenk, you might not want to talk about it, but there are dozens of videos on our channel where we're fawning over your ability to come after people. When you were going on Piers Morgan in the months after 10-7 in 2023, we were giving you so much flowers. We were talking about how the left needs to just go out there and be proud and rip people's throats out and say, you're disgusting. I'm not going to hear this from you. And we also gave Anna Kasparian flowers when she was vulnerable at the DNC. And she told a very moving story about how her family was from Armenia. And when they had to escape, they fled to Palestine and they were welcomed. And then that's her ancestry, and she feels a direct connection to the people of Palestine, right? We talked about how that was a beautiful story, and we hope that informed her coverage more. We give them credit when they deserve it. The problem is they've been fucking up so bad that we've had to talk about it every day.
Yep. And again, Cenk and Anna don't actually have a problem with drama content, even on its face, right? Back in the day when that kid Sahil, the progressive voice, used to blow smoke up their ass constantly, Anna had him on her show and said, I love the progressive voice. It's my favorite channel. I love drama, right? Why? Because Sahil was a fan of hers. And, admittedly at the time, there was a lot more to be a fan of. I don't blame him for being a TYT fan at that point. That was the era to be a TYT fan. We probably would have been making pro TYT content in that era also if we had had a channel back in 2016. But again, they never judged Sahil for making drama videos every day, for turning the progressive voice into the TMZ of progressive YouTube at the time, before we came onto the scene, quite frankly. No, they never cared about that, nor does Cenk judge his new bestie, Piers Morgan, someone whose ass he constantly blows smoke up. This tweet was hilarious. He's, the two online people of the year, according to Cenk, are Piers Morgan and Joe Rogan. But he gives credit to Piers here for setting up a fun carnival in the middle of the internet. Piers Morgan is a total tabloid, political talk show. That's what it is. The whole point is drama. It's Jerry Springer, but for politics, as many people have pointed out. Cenk doesn't have a problem with it. He's not above it in any other context other than when he's the victim of the roast.
100%. And I actually think there is a fair argument. I disagree with every single element of the dude's politics, Piers Morgan. I think he's gross, but that guy understands media like a mother. And you have to call a spade a spade. And the thing that is baffling about Cenk Uygur is, I've said this a million times on the podcast, but Cenk should have been doing what Piers Morgan did. The home of progressives should have been the home of that. I don't want to say like a carnival ride, but it should have been a home of intense debate. It should have been a home of, this is where the ideas are battle tested. Okay, you think that trans kids should be able to play sports? Oh, I think that trans kids should have to sit on the sideline. Oh, let's debate that viciously for an audience for an hour.
But instead, he's scared of Sam Cedar, who we debated 2 years into our careers. You know what I'm saying? It's just like 22-year-old kids that didn't know what the hell we were talking about. We had an hour-long debate with Sam Cedar, held our own. Cenk is too much of a pussy.
Nice to us.
Oh, he was super nice. He was awesome. That's the thing about Sam Cedar. Everyone acts terrified of him. Right-wingers, but also these, fake lefties like Cenk Uygur. They act like he's this terrifying, bad faith actor, when in reality, he's a really, friendly person in conversation. He's amenable to different viewpoints. Like, he'll embarrass you if you let him. But if you're good faith and go in there and you're interested in hashing something out, he's not gonna like, just be a dick necessarily. That's what I've experienced, at least. And we made content critical of Sam before ever talking to him. He didn't mind.
No, he didn't give a shit.
So they then get incentivized to do more videos attacking us, right? So funny enough, just before we got into them, Box just wrote in on Super Chat saying, let's follow the logic. People who don't really like TYT go to watch Silly and Billy talk about TYT all day long.
That's the Vanguard. Yeah.
Make it make sense, okay? So,
yeah, Cenk, a little annoyed that she gave away the game that Silly and Billy is us. But hey, speaking of Silly and Billy, guys, if you want to get your Silly and Billy merch, now's a great time to do it. Unfortunately, it won't arrive in time for the holidays, but you'll be able to start the new year in style. We've got all kinds of stuff. If you've got a woke dad in your life, or maybe a dad you're trying to turn woke, we've got the cap for you. We've also got Silly and Billy shirts. We've got, all kinds of stuff in there. And Silly and Billy for when you get chilly. January is a sticky, icky month. Get some Vanguard merch. Shout out to Cenk, though. We deeply appreciate the concept. You know what? Silly and Billy, that was a great turn of phrase. We owe you in the way that Pat Mahomes owns the guy that called him Showtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And huge shout out to the Letter Hack also, who designed pretty much everything you're going to see on the store. We obviously have bragged about those a million times, so we're not going to subject you all to that again, but definitely hit that link up in the description and in the chat, guys, if you want some Silly and Billy merch for the holidays or slightly after, as Zach pointed out.
Yep, and I don't want to brag, everyone, but I did choose the woke font. That was not Matt Strackmeans.
Oh yeah, I just meant all the actual, animations.
I was kidding. No, I'm just joking, guys. Matt does great work for us, but anyway, let's keep watching.
That's Silly and Billy are those guys. Look, guys, I mentioned it once because I watched one video of theirs. They pretend that Anna drives a Porsche or a Jaguar. I forget. Like, they claim two different cars, but they never clarified. They say she lives.
That's what they have beef with? I was fucking joking, you moron.
Yeah, obviously. That's the thing. They imagine being such a little bitch that someone makes a bunch of videos criticizing you, makes a bunch of genuine good faith arguments, substantive arguments, guys, from former fans of the Young Turks. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they want to obsess about, some stupid obvious joke about Anna driving a Porsche. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not actually what the beef is, obviously. And again, why are you going to spend this whole segment responding to the criticism and all this shit if you're going to admit that you're not familiar with the criticism? Cenk says he watched one of our videos and then misrepresents it. Anna says she's never watched our videos. So again, how are you going to respond to criticism you're not actually familiar with? You're literally just responding to like whatever your mind has constructed is happening, but nothing that's actually gone down.
I also called Anna a Santa Clarita Karen. That was not an attempt to dox her. That was me painting with a broad brush, Anna. I'm sorry. I thought you were a professor at a college. I thought you learned how to read between the lines. Apparently not. She's never heard of jokes before.
in Beverly Hills, all these outrageous weirdo lies.
Yeah, and then Dan Evans, the former employee who's also attacking me, posts a picture of himself with his new Mustang and makes fun of me for driving a used Honda Civic, which, by the way, I'm very proud to drive.
I also have a used car, Anna. Shout out to us. We're holding it down for everyone.
Rich people love to do that shit, by the way. They're like, and check out my pair of gloves that's all tattered and worn, and I haven't replaced these puppies since the 80s because I'm such a normal guy. I'm just normal folks just like you. You know, they'll do that. Rich people love to do that shit. Oh, I'm actually a penny pincher, you know? I drive a beater, and I haven't you know, I haven't gone to the barber shop in 5 years. I cut it myself. You know, rich people love to do this shit.
I was actually just in Omaha last night, and one of my friends was like, oh yeah, 2 things about Warren Buffett. He fucking sucks. He brags about how he drives a piece of shit car and he never tips anyone.
A used Honda Civic. I don't need a fancy car, but which one is it? Is it, haha, look at Anna, she's driving a Honda?
Yeah,
or is it Anna has 2 cars, including a Porsche?
Oh, Anna, real fast, his car is an electric vehicle, so you know, don't forget about that. But real fast, I've seen a few of their videos, and
This guy's watching right now. What's up, bro? It's okay. You got a white knight. We understand. You know, you got to be a company man. You know, this guy knows where his bread is buttered, and you know what? I can't hate him for it. We all got to pay our bills. Solidarity to this dude. He's under the boot.
not to get too long into the conversation on my part, because I have this thing called a life, and I just really am not concerned about those guys.
Let's just say there's a reason this guy's a producer, and they don't let him talk a lot.
I'll just say from what I've watched from them, all they are is a little knitting circle. They're a knitting circle, and they don't really do a good job in informing you.
Can you pause it? Look at the somber expressions on Cenk and Anna. This whole segment, guys. In fact, the last couple TYT shows have been so somber in tone. It's like it's not at all fun anymore. There's no joy. There's no roast element. They're just like, let's be very serious and talk about this new threat, the Vanguard, a channel hosted by a couple of young whippersnappers, Zac and Gavin, and then their audio guy is talking now, and he's like, guys, I watched a few of their videos, and let me report back. Let me tell you what I saw from the trenches. It's not good, folks. And it's like they're looking all serious. Just crack a smile, guys. Are you completely incapable of having any sense of self-awareness? Ever heard of self-deprecating humor? Is it that hard to realize that this is clearly not the best way to deal with backlash, not just from Silly and Billy, but from your own freaking audience? That's the crazy thing about this, is they can't actually just deal with the fact that people disagree with them, that maybe they're at the point where, yeah, the best path forward would be to apologize if they actually do want to gain back the trust of the folks in their audience. Again, I'm not talking about us. I'm not saying they have to apologize to people that have criticized them online, even Sam Cedar or whatever, but to their audience, yeah, if they really want their trust back, a lot of them, they are going to have to apologize to. They're going to have to demonstrate some level of self-awareness and an ability to course correct. That's if they don't just decide to completely 100% go down the right-wing rabbit hole. But this is not it.
Oh, yeah.
Informing you on...
And this guy, I swear to God, if he keeps talking, I'm going to kill myself. I'm sorry, Anna, but I'm allowed to make jokes about my own mortality.
The stories that they're talking about, right, and being well aware of the world around them. And by doing so, they don't really serve, for me, a purpose of trying to inspire. There's no inspiration in what they do.
They're just drama farming. That's what they're doing.
All it is.
Yeah.
So that's
guys, this is the Young Turks network.
So,
I just
look at the end of the video that I watched. Then one of the guys talks about how he worked on Wall Street.
Okay, that's hilarious. He is referencing the fact that I mentioned that when I was 20 years old, because I was desperately poor and going to business school and working full time, that I dropped out of business school when I got the opportunity of my fucking life at the time to work at a venture capital firm. That radicalized me so much in my experience that I went back to being a working class bartender, you dolt. And now I host a show where I talk about how venture capital is a fucking scam, and so is Bitcoin.
So they're man of the people. And then Dan is pretending that
This guy thinks that Wall Street hires you if you have hand tattoos and knuckle tats that say Vanguard and you have roses on your hand. I am branded a socialist for life, Cenk. I don't go out into the world and hide who I am.
was like in solidarity with Hassan. He's the one guy who yelled at Hassan during a town hall here and said Hassan was going to cost all of our jobs. So he's just like, and you don't want to know why Dan actually left the company? To go work for Morgan Stanley. He was going to be a banker. So, but now we're not progressive enough.
LOL, everybody's a banker. I don't even fucking know this Dan from the internet guy, and we interacted with him once. I guess Gavin reminded me that he came. We had like beef way back in the day when we were an infant channel, and I totally forgot about him. And then there was like maybe a month ago on Twitter, he responded like, "Remember when you said this about me?" And I was like, "I have no fucking clue who you are, bro." And then he got all triggered again. So he's definitely not an ally of us, but also none of the attacks that you're waging against this guy are all relevant. Do you know what he's not doing? Running a YouTube channel that claims to be the home of progressives with 6 million YouTube subscribers and lying to them about how they're financing, calling themselves an independent news organization when you take almost billionaire money, when you take poly market money, which is billionaire money, rename your studio that you raised $400,000 in mom and pop donations from people who listened to your show. Fucking crazy.
Okay, so it's funny how you don't mention that, Dan. Okay. Anyways, we're in an impossible situation because they say the most outrageous things, but when we respond, people go, hey, I don't know. So here, let me go to Sean Kelly. Also super chat. I really got to get to the members, but fam, I love TYT. The left fights itself too much. It would be great if we could find unity. TYT could lead that effort among the online voices. Please don't glibly dismiss the criticism your members are concerned to. Sean, that's why we're doing this segment. So let's get to it, okay? So let's go to some of our members. I'll start with one that's a little wild, but Laura Rayner asked a YouTube member, how do you respond to the accusation that you're the Neville Chamberlain to the modern Hitler? So,
that's a good one.
Guys, so look,
look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir.